That's in a long way. That's in a long shot.
Oh, that's not my prediction.
It's in a long shot.
Long shot, I know.
Well, I mean, hope is eternal. Hope eternal.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, some commentators, particularly those who were very, very close, formerly very, very close to Mr. Peter Obi, have come out at various times, but a couple of them just last week, to give very strong chastisement of Mr. Peter Obi, his leadership, not moral or whatever, but just leadership. One of them is his former vice presidential candidate, Yusuf Dati Ahmed, who said the way he left ADC does not portray him in good leadership stead. Beyond that, Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo, his former spokesperson, was even more strident and more, for want of a better, phrase, more critical, more condemning of Mr. Peter Obi, and in fact went ahead to say he has buried his political, future by decamping from the ADC to the NDC. What do you say about this?
Now, let me put it this way. There's an ancient
saying.
Yes, there's an ancient saying. Sometimes they say these ancient wisdoms are tried
and tested.
No, but true.
Yeah.
That great minds discuss ideas. Average minds event, and small minds discuss people. I don't know how Nigerians look at me, whether I'm the average mind, a small mind, or a great mind. Great many Nigerians, at the risk of being modest, consider me a great mind. So I'm not talking about individuals. They're not important in this conversation of national survival. We're dealing with a vicious government that is ready to torpedo the sweat, not just of our founding fathers and mothers, the sweat of those of us who genuinely fought for democracy. If care is not taken, our duty is to use the extra legal constitutional means at our disposal to ensure, and peaceful too, that this democracy survives. That is far more important, than the way and manner people talk, either ill or good of individuals. Even God himself is not spared, or Christ, or Muhammad, any of the great moral forces. But as humans, we don't compare ourselves to them. I'm saying even them. How about we mortals? So whether we are right or wrong, people will do that. So that's not important. What is important is the dedication of your heart and soul, the clarity of your vision, your moral stature or strength that will drive your movement. That's what Peter Obi is all about. That matter is settled in that regard. But back again to what he talked about zoning. It nearly escaped me. Zoning is not in the Constitution.
Yeah.
But many things are not in the Constitution. Is the geopolitical zone in the Constitution? I don't think it's in the Constitution. Please, fact check me whether the geopolitical zone, 6 of them, are constitutionalized.
Only 8 states. Sorry, 26 states.
So why are we not doing things on geopolitical zones? Even most of the appointments are constitutional in nature. Even most of the selections of board members and commissions and so on. Even most of the patronage is given. Even ministers now appointed on geopolitical basis after the state, composition. They now say, why for a geopolitical zone? I remember one of the presidents. So that will tell you that the fetish of the Constitution is what has led many nations astray. Ojo Madepo of blessed memory said on air, if a president exercises 30% of his or her powers, he becomes a monster. That means the rest 70 will be forbearance, toleration, and sense of inclusion. That means conventions and the things that power a system. Why is it that Bola Tinubu's running mate is not from Ogun State? I'm asking you, Olawale. Why is his running mate not from Ogun State and the current vice president? Why is he from the north? No, but it's not in the Constitution.
It is not.
It can be his wife. Why do you think it's important that he's from the north? So whoever tells you there's no zoning in the Constitution, tell the person that this is a conventional arrangement by people at moments in history and time in order to create balance, stability, and sense of inclusion. And zoning does not, origin of power, in a way affects or destabilizes the essence of competence and experience. I've said it, I don't know whether with you, but on several other forums, I said, in my village of Mbo, in our local government area of Enugu State, Nigeria, we have close to 20, 30 serving professors. We have over 100 doctorate holders. We have engineers, we have doctors, we have pharmacists, we have accountants. We can form 5 solid federal cabinet. One village, not a local government area. We can form the cabinet of professors from different fields, competent to run the country. And the entire southern Nigeria cannot produce a president and other competent people because it's not in the Constitution. There's no way they contradict one another. There's no way there's a dichotomy between zoning and competence and experience. So what happened is that how do you run a system that everybody feels comfortable to be part of? How do you ensure that what Buhari did and what Tinubu has intensified and consolidated of an insular, Barakboy kind of arrangement that is close everyone, that the presidential power constituency has been captured by one ethnic group, that the financial and economic foundation of the state captured by one ethnic group, that even what they call the criminal justice system and the apparatus of defense and security captured again by one ethnic group, and the list is endless. The problem there is when you have, there's even an absurd citation of Malami, former Attorney General. The chief complainant is the president. He's Yoruba. The Attorney General that replaced him from Kwara, but the name is Yoruba anyway. The DG-DSS that investigated him is who? Tosin Ajayi. The public prosecutor of the federation is Yoruba. The lawyer assigned by the EFCC to prosecute is Yoruba. 5. Incredibly. Then you have the guy in charge of immigration, Comptroller General, is Kenny Nandab. Oh, he's from Plateau. He's not Plateau, he's Yoruba woman. I even heard that the Palm Secretary from Zamfara State, go check, married to Zamfara man is Yoruba. Amu Piton is from Kogi. Look at the name. Fabeni from Kwara. Look at the name. The GMD of NNPC from Kwara. Look at the name. There's a careful, deliberate intentionality afoot here to not only ensure that the commanding height of the economy, but the commanding heights of federal institutions, whether it is central bank, whether it is the Ministry of Finance and Coordination of the Economy, whether it is customs, as I said, immigration, what is FIRS. That is what zoning is about. And rotation of power is about. That's what Pastor is today, regarded as a pan-national leader who provided for his people from the Southwest, the IGP and the DG-DSS, Iroele, and a few other top people in that security sector, who gave the North Central, someone like Danjuma, General Danjuma, from the North Central, no, from the Northeast. Then from the North Central, his chief of staff, later General Abdullahi, and from the Northwest, General Guzo, they were generals in that very delicate, tentative era of 1999, when we're not sure this democracy will work. They needed the military to reinforce it, or ex-military to reinforce it. They spread them. Then for the economic side, you have the Soludo, you have Gonjiwala, and so on. Balanced. Here I do a different deepening that sense of balance, and Jonathan sustained it until Buhari came calling. And the second Bola Tinubu has now taken to a higher level of illogic this decapitation of the sense of national cohesion and national balance and national stability to a peculiar mode of an insular Barakoic arrangement of power.
Nobody can argue against facts. Facts speak for themselves. You know, you are spot on what you just described.